City of Montclair. Okay, this is the month of Zeal, and this song just kept on popping in my head, and I said, I think that's Spirit telling me to sing this for the opening song. So there's a little artistic license with the lyrics. And if you like it, let me know. Today's the day we're gonna make it happen. Today we'll put all of the things aside. We see the world with all of its perfection, and thrilled to go on this wild ride. I want to love life, feel life, wrap myself around it, go and grab life, seize life. I just can't get enough. We'll drink it in real slow and let it go. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Oh, I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Oh no, I love life. We shouldn't even think about tomorrow. Sweet memories will last a long time. Oh, we'll have a good time, people, don't you worry. And we'll be having fun all of the time. Let's get excited, oh yeah, and we just can't hide it. Come on, get up. Oh, I know, lose control and we think we like it. Oh yeah, we're so excited, and we just can't hide it. Oh no, I love life. Hey, man. Now you're talking about zeal. This is a zeal kind of guy. Master zeal to you. Oh, let's get excited, and we just can't hide it. No, we're about to lose control, and we think we like it. Oh, yeah, let's get excited, and just can't hide it. No, I love life, yeah. I love life, oh yeah. I love life.
Thank you.
Come on. Donna Summers? No. Pointer Sisters! How wrong of me. Pointer Sisters at Unity of Montclair, all in one woman. Awesome. Welcome to Unity of Montclair, a positive place for spiritual living. Right page here. My name is Tanya Thomasy, and I'm the celebration assistant for today. And right now we would like to welcome Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, who will now open our service in prayer.
So let's simply allow ourselves to go within, simply allowing ourselves to breathe, feeling the inhalation and exhalation, not trying to control it, but simply letting it be. And recognizing that that which the body is intelligent enough to know how to inhale and exhale. And moving deeper into that awareness of knowing that ultimately this is God breathing itself as this body. And it is from this place of surrender and allowing this infinite intelligence to live itself as each and every one of us. And so what I know then is that this service right here, two or more are gathered in the name of that which is precious and holy and divine. And so this service is already divine. It is already whole. It is already perfect. It is already complete. Knowing that everyone is here by divine appointment. didn't have to choose to come here today, could have chosen to stay in bed, but we all chose that which is our higher consciousness, that which is our Christ self, that which is light, that which is love, and we are here to raise the vibration of that, to send that vibration ecstatically out into the world, knowing that there is not a corner of this planet that is absent of that which God is. And so we step forward with zeal, with excitement, with joy, with love, with light, to do what is ours to do, live the Christ daily. And so I anchor this prayer knowing that that which is played is perfect, that which is sung is perfect, that which is prayed is perfect, that which is clapped is perfect, that which we are as the individual incarnations of the divine, perfect. And knowing it is so, together we declare it by saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
This morning we welcome Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, and we look forward to his spiritual message. In order for us to have an uninterrupted experience, we ask that you take this moment to silence your phones so that we can co-create a meaningful space for worship. Here at Unity of Montclair, we believe in God as the power of absolute goodness, truth, and love in all things. And we know that this very same power is in you. In this place of spiritual transformation, we walk our path together and we support each other with unconditional love. If this is your first time here, we're so glad that you're with us. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, we're glad that you're here. Welcome home. Let us now share our vision and mission statement together with the words on the screen. Together? One in spirit, we experience a world awakened to higher consciousness. And our mission statement? We are a vibrant, inclusive spiritual community, transforming lives through inspiration, sacred service, and lifelong learning. And let's express these truths by joining together as we sing our congregational song. Please stand as you are able and sing along with the words on the screen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The daily word for today is service. I experience joy as I give of myself in service to others. Today I serve those closest to me as well as the larger community through my thoughts, words, and actions. As I see individuals or groups, I remember each person is the image of God, just as I am, and unlimited potential. In my professional work and as a volunteer, I look for opportunities to offer my skills and gifts in service to them. Divine love flows to me and from me as I do what is mine to do. I experience great joy as I give myself in service to others. I need no expression of gratitude from them, although they often give it. My service blesses me with a growing awareness of oneness with those I serve and with all of humankind. In the Bible verse, thus says the Lord of hosts, render true judgments, show kindness and mercy to one another. Zechariah 7:9, and so it is.
Let us now prepare for meditation by singing the words on the screen. When you can't find your direction and your heart won't guide you home, let go and let God. When your dreams are broken in the dust and you've lost the will to trust, let go When faith's a dying fire, there's no spark to feed the flame. Let go and let God. When your courage fails you and the well of hope runs dry, let go and let God. Let the signs remind you we are passengers. Let the signs remind you to surrender. Let go and let God. Let go and let God.
Once again, anchoring to our breath. Recognizing and realizing the importance of this breath not simply as a way of being alive, but as the recognition of our divinity. Recognition of our divinity because in Genesis it is said that God breathed the Ruach, the divine breath, and made Adam a living soul. And so this breath is our opportunity, our invitation to always come back and remember the truth of who and what we are. Divine beings. Not simply humans having a human experience, but divine beings having a blessed, divine experience in human form. And so we go to that place within where we know heaven exists. We go to that place within where we know the words of Emma Curtis Hopkins ring true. There is no sin, sickness, or death. We go to that place within where we understand, we recognize the absolute oneness of God. Recognizing that all that God is, we must be. God being all there is, then it must be showing up in, through, and as us. And so if God is love, I am that. I am. If God is peace, I am that. I am. And so in this breath, we allow all of the qualities and traits and attributes that we know that the divine, the beloved, possesses and is. We recognize that they must be ours as well. There is no space where God is not. There is no scarcity. There is no lack within us because the fullness of God is right here, right now. And so we take this awareness, we take this knowing into the silence. others to know that this truth that we've connected to is the truth of our being and therefore goes wherever we are. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. And so wherever I go, wherever we go, that light must shine. The truth of our being as that light must shine. And so in gratitude, we anchor into this with each breath, with each moment, with each thought, with each word, and with each deed of service that we provide unto the world, doing what is ours to do, to be love, to be light, to be joy, to be that which God is in the flesh. Anchoring this meditation together, we declare it by saying, and so it is.
There's been a storm brewing inside of me, clouds moving around my heart. Something's changing that I can't see. I'm stuck in what I know is safe, but not yet where I'm supposed to be. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call asking, what am I here for? 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 They say that pain pushes till the vision pulls. It feels like my safety nets have all fallen down, and I wish I had a map of where to go. I've got this feeling in my soul. When I get there, I will know. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never done before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call, and it's asking, what am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for?
to introduce our guest speaker. Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson is frequently referred to as a Renaissance man, a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, and transmutation. Reverend Anderson lives his bliss. He has been a public school teacher, a professor, a radio host for a 13-week radio program on Voice America called Living a Sacred Life, and he has authored 2 books, Moving Mountains, The Journey of Transformation, and Visual Music, Interpreting Songs in American Sign Language, both available on Amazon. Reverend Dr. Anderson is currently the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living in Greater Baltimore. Dr. Anderson is also a speaker, mentor, father, and grandfather, and a professional sign language interpreter, which he has been for over 20 years. Please give the warmest of welcomes to Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson.
Thank you very much. So how are you today?
Great.
I feel great.
Yeah. Carol looked at me like, yeah, I don't believe that either. So, I don't know if I should warn you up front, or you want the warning up front, or you want the warning later? Up front. Okay. So as Julia told you, I used to be a public school teacher. So there are moments when the public school teacher in me comes out, where I'm going to ask questions, and I would like answers back. Because you know, sometimes people get up here and then, so today what we're going to do, and they speak to you and they ask questions, but they're not really asking you questions. That's not me. Okay, so you ready for today?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so, question number 1. Yeah, we're going to just jump right into it. We ain't going to wait. So, this young woman just sang a song with the refrain being what? What am I here for? See, some folks are asking, what am I here for? So if I ask you that question, what are you here for? Let's go. Okay, so other than mom makes me, why do you come here? Every Sunday, most of you, some not, some are bedside Baptists, but it's okay. But every Sunday, yes. To celebrate God. In me. Celebrate God. Okay, what else? Give me 2 more, at least 2 more. Equanimity. Give me another one.
To be renewed.
To be renewed. Okay, so, what do you do on Monday?
Reflect. Same thing. Reflect.
Because these things that we named, being the truth of who and what we are, can't just be what we do on Sunday. Right? If we're going to be like one of the things that I've been talking to a lot of people about recently is this question. Is your spirituality relevant? And I'm not asking is relevant. I'm asking is the way we are showing up in our spirituality, is it relevant? Meaning, are we taking what we're doing on Sunday and showing up in the world Monday through Saturday with that same thing? Yes. And pause, don't get too excited. So today what we're talking about is the joy of making zeal recognizable. How often do we really think about that, though? Like, I heard it never. So, first of all, that word, zeal. How often do we actually use it in every regular, everyday conversation? Honey, make sure when you go to school today, make sure you show zeal to your class. Like we don't. Right? Usually when we hear that word, it's with zealot. And when we hear that word, is that generally a good reference or not? It's generally not. It's the zealots who blow themselves up. It's the zealots who whatever. And one of the great things that I love about language, because as Julia told you, I do American Sign Language, so I've got this thing in my mind about language, is what words once meant and how over time they have changed. And even now, when we have things, they're still changing. Language is an ever-evolving creature, right? But in the way back when, a zealot was pretty okay to be, because it meant you were full of zeal. But let me ask you, what is zeal? In your own words, how would you define what zeal is? Enthusiasm. Anything else? Joy. Passion. Perfect. We'll start there. Do you make passion, enthusiasm, and joy recognizable in your life as your life? Meaning, we choose what we're going to wear on any given day. We go to grocery stores and select brands and taste and flavors specifically based upon what we want to enjoy. We wear clothes as whatever our advertisement to the world is going to be. People will say, oh, that purple on you is beautiful. And we'll say, oh, thank you very much. And then we'll wear more purple. That necklace, oh man, it's stunning. And Reverend Dr. Jean will be like, yes, I know that's what I wore today too. Right?
And
So
I
we
love
should.
the turquoise.
Thank you. And so we select how we show up in the world physically. With makeup, eyeglass frames, and like we get really specific. Shoes, we get really specific how we're going to show up. But when it comes down to how we're going to show up as the divine, we're not quite as picky, selective, anchored, grounded, confident. See, guys, it's real easy to come here on Sunday and be reminded, you know you're God, right? Yes, I know. You hear how I was playing? Of course I know. Like, we recognize it on Sunday. We namaste folks, we hug folks. I see the God in you, I see the divine that you are. But Monday, Tuesday, by Wednesday, the weariness of the world, especially those who watch the news, the weariness of the world starts to infect us and come in and say, so you do know the shape of the world. You do know you're really not as smart as you. You do know you're not as pretty as you. Do know that you're not as something. You're not as valuable. You're not as worthy. Right? Constant reminders. For example, if I may be so bold as to speak openly. Okay, I got my ask permission first. So, as an African-American man, on any given day when I turn on the news or go to social media and I hear about another African-American person who was shot, there's the reminder somewhere in my mind, oh, wow, yet again, and yet again. The weariness of the world can creep in very, very easily. And yet, if we are going to make joy recognizable, then we have to be willing, and we're going to make enthusiasm recognizable, and we're going to make passion recognizable, then we've got work to do. You know, we say, dance like no one's watching. What if we got to the place of being so filled with love and joy, we danced like everybody's watching? Right? Like, what if we got to that point? Because we say dance like no one's watching, because it says, you know, be free to do whatever you want to do, and if people laugh, you know you're by yourself, so no, you know, do whatever you're going to do. Right? Like, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you're going to do. But what if you step forward with such boldness, you were like, I know that I clap off rhythm, and I don't care. I'm going to clap off rhythm for the world, because I'm clapping off rhythm with joy, with passion, and with enthusiasm. You know, I often say, so Anybody in here ever heard of this thing called the flu? Or a cold?
Yes.
And, you know, someone does one of these numbers, and what do? Can I use you as a volunteer for a second? Okay, someone says, hey, Karen. Right. So why do we like, oh, no. Why do we do that? Because we don't want to catch it. It's contagious. And I say, so because I always do this thing where I try to bring that which God is into the tangible physical stuff, right? So we say, as above, so below, as within, so without. So everything we talk about God, we should be able to see somewhere in our regular, tangible world. So I say, if a cold demonstrates some form of contagion, then what is the spiritual equivalent of that same contagion? There's a phrase, if I'm not mistaken, Confucius said, if you have knowledge, let others light their candle at it. Meaning you have the flame, and others are seeking the light. Let them light their candle from your flame. Oh, so light can be contagious. And the thing is, if God is all there is, then everyone has the light. Some of us don't know it, though. So there are many people, politicians, school teachers, kids who bully, like there are tons and tons of people who have no idea that they are that which God is. But we can know it for them. We can light the candle of our awareness so powerfully that what does Marianne Williamson say in that? And we will shine our light so powerfully that it gives other people permission to do the same. We will live so out loud and audaciously that it gives other people permission to do the same. That we will live so courageously that it gives other people permission to do the same. That we will dance so boldly that others will have the validation to say, I don't need to dance like no one's watching. I don't need to sing like no one's listening. I can live out loud with excitement. When was the last time one of you skipped? Say what?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Okay, at least got one. I got a two. Okay, see? So the young in heart and the young in body. But what if we all, just for a moment, did something that our youth said, I'm gonna have fun? When was the last time we had fun to the degree of, see, children have fun and play, and they don't care if it's silly, they don't care whatever, like they don't care. But we reach a certain age when we're like, oop, I have to put on. Yes, no, I don't do such silly things as that. So we hide ourselves away. Because the moment you start carrying that light into the world, someone's going to say, what is that? What are you trying to do? People try to snuff out the light. Because some people are not willing to be full of enthusiasm. And let us remember the etymology of enthusiasm, entheos, to be in God. Inspired, to have the Spirit flowing in. I mean, if I ask, what are you passionate about? Can you give me, if I were to ask, and just raise your hand, if I ask for 3, raise your hand. Could you give me 3 if I were to ask? If I ask for 7 things that you are passionate about. 12. So that's pushing it, right? Some of us are pushing it when I ask for 1. What is one thing that you are so passionate about that it makes you wake up in the morning? That if someone said, who here wakes up at 6 o'clock? 5, 4, 3. I'm almost scared to go to the 2. Okay, so we'll go with 2, since that's the neutral. 2 o'clock. Who here wakes up after 7? Okay, so I'm going to go with you and you. So someone said, I want you to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to school, and I want you to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning to do something. Would you be like, cool, what is it? I'm ready. Or is it going to be like, what? I don't get up until 8 o'clock. Leave me alone. Oh! I need to hang out with this one. But the general idea is, we don't want to wake up in the morning and get up and start, versus soon as the alarm clock goes, the snooze button is the furthest thing from our minds. That as soon as it's time to wake up, whether it's the light on our face, or whether it's the cat, whether it's the dog, whatever it is, we wake up ready to embrace life.
Yes.
Versus ready to roll back over and sleep more life away. See, there's a difference between sleeping to renew, to rejuvenate, and sleeping to avoid. Anyone who has had or is having the experience called depression, for years I have, years, used to be addicted to that thing called depression, and I know what it was like to climb into that nice warm cave of a blanket and stay there for as long as humanly possible. We want to avoid, even with our human interactions, we don't approach new people with passion and enthusiasm. Hey, hello, what's your name? Like, we don't do that because we don't want to seem like the kook. We don't want to seem like the stalker. So we approach people, hey, I really like that song. Thank you. But why not share your enthusiasm?
Yes, I do it all the time.
When we go to a restaurant and you really enjoyed the meal and the waiter or waitress was amazing, like they were attentive, do you let them know,
Yes.
not just by your tip, but let them know by your face, your body, your words? Oh my goodness, this meal was delicious. I wish I could give me some of it to go, because I love it. Thank you very much. It's okay, sir. It's okay. No, you need to come here, because I got to give you a hug. Like, do we let people know? Do we let people know? You know, if we're going to talk about what this means to be excited by life, one of the things that many New Thought folks say, and we say it in CSL very often, there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is passionate. That life is amazing. That life is marvelous. That life is magnificent. And that life is my life right now.
Amen.
We need to claim that more often. Like, really, especially if this is, we can consider this a hospital, per se. Unity, Centers for Spiritual Living, Agape, in certain ways are hospitals. Because many of us came here broken and wounded by something else. And we came here to be renewed and refreshed and healed and resurrected into this new state of being and knowing what we are, knowing who we are, so that we can walk the walk of the Christ presence. To such a degree that I often tell people, imagine, one of the spiritual powers, by the way, imagination, that everything you touch now vibrates with whatever your mind and your heart is anchored to, right? So you're at the grocery store. Everybody here does grocery store something or other? Okay. So you go to the grocery store and you're looking for cereal or coffee, not sure, but you're looking for something in the grocery store, and you're like, okay, touch. But what you're angry. I'm angry at the cat, I'm angry at the husband, I'm angry at the wife, I'm angry at the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the neighbor, the something, the board president, I'm angry at somebody. I'm angry at somebody, the minister, I'm angry at the president, I'm angry. Coffee. And the vibration of that anger goes into, but it's not the one you wanted, so you put it back. But it's activated now, right? So now here comes Ray. Oh, I want coffee. Because what's your name? Lorraine. We're going to do coffee at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I got to pick whatever coffee she likes. She likes this one. Boom. And I go to get in line, and I'm wondering, why is my mood shifting? Could it be I'm now contagioned by somebody else's anger, frustration, grief, etc. What if we started more actively recognizing that this is the truth of who and what we are? And find more ways to anchor into that which brings us joy. So that when things happen and we come back to the hospital, that we are able to surrender this freely in the same way that if you break a bone, break an arm, you go to the physician and you freely give them your arm to wrap and put a cast on. You don't fight them on it. Like, no, I don't want you to fix my arm. I want it to forever be broken because that's how I golf best. Like, we don't do that. We want the arm to be mended. But the physician isn't the one mending it. They are making the conditions. This is not fixing you. It is providing the spiritual conditions by which your awareness heals and restores. Because ultimately, we have to recognize that there is nothing that needs to be healed. Only the truth of our being needs to be revealed. And the truth of our being is zeal is a quality of God. It is an attribute of God. God is zeal. God is not zealous, just like God does not love. God is love. Right? Because it's not some anthropomorphic deity. It is love itself. God is not omnipotent. God is omnipotence in demonstration. There's a difference, right? This is the truth of our being. Each and every person in this room and everyone that you know on some level is vibrant. Each and every person you know on some level, whether they know it or not, each and every person you know who has ever been, who is right now, and whoever will be is that. Everybody. But do we anchor into that awareness daily? Emma Curtis Hopkins says that there's no point in trying to recognize or understand God without recognizing and understanding yourself, because we understand God by understanding ourselves. Do we do enough self-introspection, contemplation, meditation, and prayer to really know who we are from the top of our heads to the soles of our feet? From the surface of our skin to the deepest particles of quantum matter and energy. Know who you are. Because the more we know who and what we are, the more we are then able to go out there, and as people used to say, suffer the slings and arrows of, yeah, I hear you, Shakespeare, I hear you. I ain't listening right now, but I hear you. But to be able to go out there and do like, any superhero nerds in here other than me? Like Superman, Batman? Okay, I got at least, okay, thank you, I got at least two. Thank you, okay, I got a couple.
Superwoman.
Okay, that works. What do? They deflect, they block, they shield. So when we go out there, we have the ability that when people say things that we don't like, yeah, I don't like black people, boom. Yeah, I don't like gays, boom. I don't like, oh, you're in that cult, boom, boom. Like whatever it is, we do not take it upon ourselves, which we often do. We take other people's nonsense. And I selected that word specifically because there are children in the room. We take on other people's nonsense like it's a gift. In the same way, can I use your voluntary gift? Okay, so imagine that this is a crystal clear box. And you can see everything inside of it. And inside of it is a beautiful diamond and ruby and emerald encrusted bracelet. And I say, so Juliet just told me it's your birthday, and I'd like to give you this for your birthday. Ah, she put her hands out for it that time. Right? So she received the gift. Now, it's the next year, same box, same ribbon, different thing inside. It's a nice crafted cat poo. But I made it specifically for you. But I want to give it to you. I saved it. But do you know how many times I have done that exact same thing? And the person took it. Knowing full well what was in it. And they took it. And I asked, why did you take it? And you know what they say to me? I was going to throw it away. Why do we need to take other people's poo to throw away? It's your poo. You do your stuff with it. You go somewhere. Go. I'm not taking it, but that's what we do. And if we think about how many times are we still carrying the gift of either mom or dad or grandma or granddad or some teacher's who in our mind of, you're not smart enough to do math. Girls will never be able to do whatever. Black people are always going to be at the back of the bus. Or whatever. And we're still carrying some residual something. We cannot live a life full of excitement and enthusiasm and passion while we are carrying the chains of pain and self-incrimination and lack and scarcity. Can't serve two masters. Either you're going to serve the one that says, "Oh, woe is me. Alas, poor Yorick, a man of infinite jest, I do it well. My life is just miserable. Feel sorry for me, people, feel sorry." We're either worshiping at that altar, or we're worshiping at the altar of life that says, dance and jump for joy. Sing out loud. Hum. How many of us won't even hum because we think, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? I'm humming. Why? Because if you're happy and you know it, hum a tune. Like how many of us step into and are willing to step into that? You remember that song, right? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Thank you. And I would venture to say, if you're not happy, but you want to be, clap your hands. If you're knowing that there are people in the world who are not feeling happy and you want them to, clap your hands. Because what I have recognized is the more we shift our awareness. How many lives did I say there were? One. There's one. There's only one life. And the other thing we say is there's one mind. That mind is God's mind. That mind is infinite and wise and and that mind is my mind now. And therefore, what is in Reverend Dr. Jean's mind, what is in Juliet's mind, what is in Tracy's mind, what is in all of our minds exists within the mind of God. And so the more I anchor into that one mind and know the truth, it then becomes a ripple effect that goes out into the world.
Absolutely.
So I then become ground zero for love and joy and passion and purpose and enthusiasm and zeal. But we have to be willing to do the work. And that's not easy because it means stepping out. Leap of faith. We have to be willing to look the fool because not everybody's going to understand. And my sister can tell you, there are times when we go to the grocery store or whatever, and I jump on the back of the cart, and jump on the cart and ride the cart, and other folks are looking at me like, what is that old fool doing? And she shakes her head like, yeah. I laugh every day, as much as possible. We have to be willing to take the leap of faith and say, amen. What did Martin Luther King Jr. say? You see the first step you're on? You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just the one step you're on. And be grateful. And be filled with joy and passion and purpose. Everyone is here because that which God is showing up as purpose. And because what we do is we measure our purpose by the world's idea of purpose. Well, you don't need to know. If you don't have a 501(k) 7447 account, then what are you doing? You're never going to be able to retire. What do you mean you want to be a singer? You're not going to make any money playing music for people. Get a real job. How many times have we heard things like this? How many times do we still hear things like this? How many times do we hear things about the economy, et cetera, and we buy into it? Versus saying, but I know that there's a spiritual practice that I do, that there are unity principles, there's only God, the good, omnipotent. And I am going to live with the awareness of knowing that that which it is, I am, so that everywhere I go, God goes with me, God goes through me, God goes as me.
Amen. Yes.
In order to live a life with zeal being recognizable, we have to recognize it in ourselves first. We have to recognize it as the truth of our being first. And the moment we know it, we know what we are, we know who we are, there won't be a man, woman, child, circumstance, or situation that will be able to stand in opposition to that truth.
Amen.
That we will be able to feed the multitudes and heal the sick and raise the dead of consciousness to an awareness that they will also know the truth of their being as love made flesh, as zeal, as a recognizable power of God. And so it is.